What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. It's Monday. It's time for the Mock Draft Monday. We have a requested deeper format in this one, full PPR, 12-team league. If you haven't tried out a 12-team league, I suggest you do so. It's fun to try out. Definitely more difficult. Obviously, adding those extra teams is harder. And the league that I was in was 2 wide receivers and 2 flex spots, which is what we're going to do today. And I'm going to try and answer that question very briefly of what rankings do you use? You guys know that I now have 3 wide receiver rankings, and they are very different. So some of you play in the standard format, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Some of you play in 2 wide receiver or 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Starting those extra wide receivers each week, being forced to, means that wide receivers are more valuable. They bump up the rankings. But then many of you, like myself, play in leagues that have 2 wide receivers and 2 flex spots, which is what we're going to do today. And you guys have asked, well, what set of rankings do we use? And my response so far has been standard scoring, use the normal rankings, full PPR, use the 3 wide receiver rankings, half PPR. I'm going to say use the normal ones, but honestly, I don't think there is a clear-cut answer. I'm hoping soon I'm going to add to the site a new set of rankings. So you guys know right now it's like there's a drop down basically. It asks you right at the beginning, is it 2 or 3 wide receiver? Then you get into the ranking set. I think I'm going to add another set that is, are you in a 2 wide receiver, 2 flex? Because it'll be kind of a combination of both of them. But for right now, like I'm going to draft this with the 3 wide receiver rankings because if we're in full PPR, I'm assuming I'm probably going to start at least 3 wide receivers. It'll be like very, very close. So if there's like a running back and a wide receiver that are right next to each other, technically in this format, I can start that running back. I don't need to start the wide receiver. We'll lean a little bit more towards wide running back in these rankings, but I'm going to use the 3 wide receiver rankings. I hope that answers a lot of questions. I'll try and get those rankings up sometime soon, but it's not going to be right away. It might not even be this week. But for this video, 14 team, full PPR, 2 flex spots, 6 bench, 1 defense, no kicker, single quarterback league from the 11 spot. That might be the last spot we even need to do. I'll come down here. I don't think I'm going to change anything. Quarterback, I always want to leave on high. Wide receiver will probably be taken high in this format. Everything else normal. I think that sort of positional value just makes sense. So we see heavy running back to start off, which in a 14-team league is common to kind of notice. You see big runs at running back because people look at these high-end running backs and they're like, okay, well, when they get back here, it's a lot different. Like there's going to be a lot fewer running backs. When we get to the 3rd, 4th round, no one's going to be left. And so it's going to be very difficult for us if we avoid them early. But we can't start a bunch of wide receivers. So starts off the draft, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Kelsey, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon. A very, very common start. We'll hide the drafted players here. Top options at quarterback and tight end are not going to be on our team, so we're going to look at wide receiver and running back. Top running back is definitely DeAndre Swift. In this format, I have him 9th, so picking an 11th, that is a great value. But we have a screaming value, for me at least, in Jamar Chase. If I'm assuming in a full PPR format, 14 teams, it is highly likely I'm starting 3, maybe 4 wide receivers every week, especially being full PPR. I want those high-end wide receivers. I have him 4th in the 3 wide receiver rankings. If I did 2 flex spots, he'd probably move down to like 5th or 6th, but he'd still be a fantastic pick here. So we'll go with him. We know Swift will be off the board. Looks like Pitts goes off the board before Andrews. That's interesting. We can consider Andrews with this pick. We'll kind of look at things. So Swift gone, Aaron Jones gone, Fournette gone. That kind of stinks. All those would be great picks here. Adams gone and Diggs gone at wide receiver. And then Kyle Pitts, like I said, comes off the board for tight end. So we can consider Mark Andrews here. Would not be a bad pick. Real good positional advantage in a 14-team league. People are going to be starting Irv Smith, Everett, Tunyon, Hunter Henry, and they're going to score, 3-4 points against you at times. And if Andrews drops 25, like you're just destroying your opponent, right? There's a huge advantage that edge really starts to see itself in 14, 16 team leagues. So consider that there. Running backs, top running back is Saquon. absolutely someone that I'd be comfortable taking here. The ceiling, obviously, is the number one overall player, honestly, in terms of value. I don't think I would really even consider Williams, Kamara, Chubb, Connor, all like in this early second round. I feel like those are more late second round picks, so I'm probably going to pass on them. So it'd be Saquon, not Josh Allen, maybe Mark Andrews, and then we come up here. CeeDee Lamb would be a great pick. I know he's going to be the top, so yeah, CeeDee Lamb. A few spots. Where's Saquon? A good number of spots, actually. 10 spots. 10 spots ahead of Saquon. Mike Evans kind of right behind that. So Lamb and Evans would be really good picks. Almost wish we could actually do trading, and I could trade back a little bit and try and get like Evans or something in like this range. But I think I want to pass on Saquon. I think I want to risk it and see if we can get into like hope. It'd be nice if we could get like Montgomery, Zeke, Akers, Etienne, kind of like this whole tier, just one of those running backs in round 3. Because again, I really feel like in this format, running back is a little bit devalued because I only need to start 2. I can start a bunch of wide receivers. Technically, tight end is also slightly devalued, adding that one extra spot that can be a wide receiver each week. And yeah, Mark Andrews is right behind Saquon Barkley, so CeeDee Lamb is even more ahead. I'm going to go with the rankings. I'm going to grab Lamb, but I understand if anyone wanted to go with Mark Andrews or if anyone wanted to go with Saquon Barkley. I think both of those were still really good picks. Oh, okay. Still have an option. I saw some running backs go off the board. I'm a little concerned, like right before us. But after us running backs, Saquon goes, Javonte Williams goes, Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Zeke, and Breece Hall all come off the board in rounds 2 and 3. Only Josh Allen at quarterback, only Mark Andrews at tight end. That makes sense. And then a lot of wide receivers. Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Debo, Higgins, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman Jr., Brandon Cooks, Sutton, and Deontay Johnson. So a lot of wide receivers gone. And if we look at wide receiver, we're in kind of a big tier. I would say Waddle actually does stand out. I'll pull up exactly where Waddle is in the rankings at 31. We're at 39, so he's definitely the best pick here, especially in full PPR. But there are a lot of receivers I like here. And of course, we're now a little bit devalued at the position. Having Chase, having Lamb, we don't necessarily need it. So I don't know that I'd go Waddle, but he'd be a phenomenal pick in this spot. I wouldn't go with the quarterback, and I wouldn't start going to Waller or Kittle. Obviously, like if Pitts were still here, Pitts I have at 32. I guess Waller I have a little bit beyond that, but like I would take Waddle even before Pitts in the rankings. But I don't know. I have Waller as like an okay pick here, but I don't know that I would do that. I think you'd be better off kind of going with these other positions. So again, we don't have a running back. We took the chance. We hit on the chance. Running backs are still there. I'll pull up running back rankings. Etienne is our top running back here in full PPR. Remember, in other formats, we have Akers, but Etienne gets the lead in full PPR. So it's Etienne, then Akers, then Montgomery. If we look at their effective ADPs here, this is like kind of what we can go off. Montgomery's the top player. He is not going to be there. We have 6 picks that we need to make it by before we're up. Our goal here is to get 2 of these running backs. If we could get 2 of Montgomery, Akers, and Etienne, we're locked and loaded. I mean, we feel fantastic about our start. If we need to start dipping into like that Miles Sanders and Clyde range, we don't feel as good about it. So we need to be smart here. Montgomery's not going to be on the board. Absolutely not going to be on the board of our next pick. Akers is in 2, or I guess he's 3rd on the list. Etienne is 4th. So at least the odds are Etienne has the best chance of still being there. Odds are none of them are still there. Let's look at who. Okay, all these teams do have a running back. Now, I kind of expect them to grab another one, so we're not in a great spot. But Montgomery's certainly not going to be there. And so if we took one of Akers or Etienne here, we know Montgomery's gone. We're pretty much guaranteed that all 3 are off the board. if we take Montgomery, there's at least a chance that one of Akers or Etienne is still there. That kind of answers one of the questions. People being like, can I just draft based off the rankings? Technically, yes. But if you were just doing that, you'd grab Etienne. You'd be like, oh, it's a clear pick. But if the ADP on your site is like this and where there's just no chance that Montgomery's going to be there, you have to think about that as well. I want to get two of them. I won't get to them if I go by the rankings. So take the one that's highest in ADP. Hope you get the one after. Let's see what ends up happening. We see McLaurin, Waddle, Gibson, Mike Williams, Akers, and it looks like Michael Thomas. Beautiful. Again, Gibson, Akers gone. We're going to end up getting Etienne. We don't even need analysis here. I think that is a steal at that part in the draft. Team so far, David Montgomery, Travis Etienne, or I think it's Etienne. I don't know. You guys keep making fun of me when I say it. Travis Etienne. Tell me if I'm saying it right now. Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. That's a good start. I really, really like this start. Okay. After we go, million picks. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Kittle and Waller go off the board, which means, again, we're going to avoid tight end here. I'm not investing right after them in some of these other tight ends. Running backs, not too many. Jacobs, Dobbins, Mitchell, Clyde, Sanders, all off the board, which really, there can't be that many left. Okay, Dylan's like pretty clearly, well, Dylan and Chase Edmonds. There's like a few okay ones left, but I mean, again, 14-team league, it's going to start getting thin. And then wide receivers, Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper, Metcalf, Mooney, St. Brown, Judy, Bateman, Juju, Allen Robinson, Elijah Moore, a lot of wide receivers we love. Top options. Godwin is an option for us. Gabriel Davis, Adam Thielen, Devonta Smith, Hunter Renfrow. I love just like this entire tier here. It's a really, really good range for wide receiver. Then we see a drop off into this Lockett and Hopkins kind of range. So, I mean, I would love to get two. If I get two of those receivers, I feel phenomenal about our like four receivers. Again, not going tight end, not going quarterback. If Mahomes was there, if Herbert was there, maybe I'd go with them. But this whole range is very, very similar. I want to wait a little bit longer. And like I would like to add Dylan to the team. I would like to add Edmonds, but I think our best bet here is to just grab two of these wide receivers, because we know if we wait until the next round after that, like if we grabbed a running back here, then like, I don't know, Gabriel Davis, we're not making it back to the next one, grabbing two of these guys. Looking at those receivers, it looks like Thielen, then Godwin, then Renfrow. Looks like Gabriel Davis moves way down because it's full PPR. In like a standard scoring format, he's way better. Half PPR is better. In full PPR, we know he's not going to be peppered with targets, and so he kind of loses out a lot, it looks like, in the full PPR rankings. So he's like, I would say way down there. He's at 58, and we're at, I guess, still like a good amount of value there, just because wide receivers so valued so heavily. I'm looking at the rankings right now. There's a million wide receivers and like Kittle thrown in to like the late fourth and into like the sixth round. It's just wide receivers are so valuable, which is why it's important to have these rankings, because many people are going to enter leagues with three wide receiver formats and they're just going to print off, because like no sites really give you three wide receiver rankings. They're going to print off normal rankings, and you're going to be sitting there like, why are there all these wide receiver values? Should I be drafting this? And it's like, yes, because wide receiver is so valuable in these formats. So a lot of really good values here. I think we can just draft based off of the rankings here. And I think we can take Godwin, especially now having no Gronk on the team. I mean, no Antonio Brown. Like, when Godwin's back, he's going to be a third round value, getting him in the fifth round, late fifth round of a 14-team league. That's really, really good value. Plus him being top in the projections, even assuming that he misses some time. That makes sense. So I feel like we grab Godwin because he's the most likely to go. And then Thielen's probably still going to be there at the next pick. And then we'll grab Thielen. And that'll be a really, really good double dip for us at this position. Oh my goodness. No. He does go. I did not think Thielen would get taken. So Gabriel Davis, we only have 6 picks go by. It's Ken Walker, then Davis, then Thielen, then Lockett, then Devonta Smith, then Joe Burrow. Somewhat unfortunate, but I still stand by the process of taking the top by ADP. Most likely we're still going to get Thielen. I mean, he was like 10, 12 spots back. I did not expect these teams to grab their like fourth wide receivers here. Even though it's what we're doing, it's probably what we should be doing. Didn't expect it. All right. So Dylan's still on the board. Dylan is becoming a really, really nice value here for us. The top player is Hunter Renfrow. Is there a chance? No, there's no chance, right? Down there. Very unlikely Renfrow is there at our next pick. Tight ends are not really a value. Dylan's honestly like a perfectly even value. I have him at 74. But again, under the new rankings, if I do the 2 flex rankings, he'd move up just a little bit. This is a big decision. Kyler is still on the board. But oh my goodness. Why does my watch always do that? I hope you guys don't hear that too loud. Kyler's still on the board, but he's at 79 in the rankings. And I think I'd rather risk it, see if we can get Kyler or Jalen Hurts or Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. I think I want to wait for like a really good value. So I'm not going to do quarterback, not going to do tight end. Yeah, it's Renfrow or A.J. Dillon. Part of me wants to grab Dillon, though, because it's going to get real thin really quickly. And we've already got 2 very high-end wide receivers. And I kind of want to ensure we grab that running back here. If we had been able to get like Thielen at this pick, then I definitely would have done that. But let's do Dylan. I think Dylan just makes more sense for what things are going to like start looking like a little bit later on. Yeah, he goes off the board there. Looks like a few at other positions too. Brady's like the last quarterback in that tier still left. So after us, Hurts goes, Kyler goes, Wilson goes, Dak goes. We see Schultz go, Hawkinson go. Not too many running backs, but it was one we cared about, Chase Edmonds. So it's Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, and Tony Pollard. And then a lot of wide receivers again. Drake London, Kirk, Treylon Burks, Hunter Renfrow, Hopkins, Lazard, Ayuk, Gage, Tony, Claypool, Robert Woods, all off the board. Again, our team right now at running back, David Montgomery, Travis Etienne, and A.J. Dillon. And then Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Chris Godwin, wide receiver. Still looking good there. I don't know that we need to go with running back. Unless there's a really good value, I don't know that we need to go with that with this pick. Where is Tom Brady? Tom Brady, I'll actually just bring up quarterback to look at this. Tom Brady is at pick 105, so still not that exceptional of a value, but definitely the top quarterback still on the board. But I want to wait for a value. Did these teams already... Only one of these teams has quarterback, so I do think it's likely that Tom Brady goes at this pick. We'll consider him with our next one. But let's see what else is on the board. I don't know that I want to go with a tight end here. Top tight end is Ertz. Ertz at 107, though. So we don't want that. So we're not going to go tight end. Hopefully not quarterback. I don't think any of these running backs are ones that we need on the team. So then we hop on over to wide receiver. No one at wide receiver really stands out. There are some players that we like, but I feel like it's probably Garrett Wilson or it's Tyler Boyd. It might be Galladay. Looking at that kind of range. Yeah, Boyd. And I don't think Boyd is like a good enough pick for us to take here. So I don't think I'm going to go tight end. I'm not going to grab a wide receiver. Now we're looking at running back or Tom Brady. Where are the running backs? Let's see. It's probably Damian Harris. It's Damian Harris, Melvin Gordon, Hines. Does Hines sneak in? Melvin Gordon at 104 though. So that's not like an exceptional value here. Interesting. Maybe we just go with Tom Brady. I mean, he is like still like a quality pick at this spot. And maybe we go with Brady. Kind of have that Brady and Godwin stack. Because there's nothing I even cared about with that pick. And all those players are still on the board. Ertz still on the board. Boyd's still on the board. Harris, Gordon still on the board. Who even went? Who did people draft? Oh, 2 quarterbacks. All right. So Stafford goes and Aaron Rodgers goes. Goddard and Knox go. Rondell Moore and then Devin Singletary. All right. So we're good at quarterback. All right. So that's good. And I guess in a 14-team league, I didn't want to get too stuck. There's definitely a possibility some of these teams really started grabbing backups, and it would have been gross. We probably would have had to go on quarterback with this pick. So I think that was a smart pick. But thinking now, I don't think there's going to be a big run at tight end yet. I think we can survive and grab tight end at 10:03. It's just that like Ertz is, I guess he's not even clearly the top option. What's the value difference? Ertz is really close to Kement, relatively close to Pat, not that far away from Irv Smith, assuming that Kyle Rudolph doesn't go back to Minnesota. They're all within like 8 points of each other. So I think we chance it with tight end. I'm thinking we grab running back because I know there's going to be some time that we're just going to see it decimated. And while we want to have these wide receivers, there's like so many wide receivers here that I'm like, I think are all the exact same player. So I think what I'd like to do is grab Harris or Gordon. I'll kind of think about that one. Hope that there's still like kind of 2 wide receivers we can grab at this next kind of range. And then hope that we probably will just double dip at tight end. We'll probably take 2 later options that we feel good about. But hope that we can wait, a few rounds and maybe we can get one of this like top 5 or 6. I think that that's our best option. Instead of like grabbing Ertz here, who's basically the same as some of these other guys, will still be there. I think we're going to see a bigger drop at the running back position. So let's go back to running back. Let's think about for our team, is Harris or Gordon better? I just think Gordon is I think he's such a good pick with so much upside. 175.7 for the projection, full PPR scoring for him. 163.5, so it's not even like super close for that. I think Gordon's a better pick. I think he has much more receiving upside. I think that if we're talking like pure upside, I mean, Javonte Williams goes down, Melvin Gordon's the top, 7 running back. I just think that makes a lot of sense. They're saying that Harris is a better pick, but no, I think we had a good pick there. Let's get a few tight ends come off the board, but not too bad. Only Ertz. I feel like if Ertz was there at that pick, we would have gone with it. But only Ertz comes off the board. Lance and Carr go off the board. Again, we might start seeing these teams take 2. So we'll think about taking a second. Wide receivers, pretty even with running backs. Garrett Wilson, Olave, Michael Gallup, Boyd, Myers, Parker, Sky Moore, Jarvis Landry, Christian Watson, MVS. A lot of wide receivers off the board. Running backs, Penny, Harris, Cordero, Stevenson, Cook. That's James Cook. Michael Carter, and Naheem Hines. So we still don't have that tight end. What do these teams have? This team has 2. They have Kyle Pitts and Knox, so they're not taking a 3rd tight end. This one has Dallas Goedert. This one has none. So it's definitely a possibility tight end comes off the board at our next pick. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind. I'd be fine with Pat. I'd be fine with Cole, but I do see a little bit of a drop-off after that. We're not going to go with running back. We have plenty of running backs at this point. Again, Montgomery, Etienne, A.J. Dillon, Melvin Gordon. I feel very strong in a 14-team league. I feel strongly about those running backs that will probably grab probably only one more. I probably want to load out wide receiver on the bench. I probably want to grab 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, and then either a backup. Probably no backup quarterback, honestly. We'll probably grab 2 tight ends. It's only 1 more running back, so we can wait a while for that position. I do think I want to double dip at wide receiver here, though. I I'll pull up the rankings, but I'm fairly confident that Kenny Golladay is going to be top given how I project the Giants offense this season. But Kenny Golladay at pick 91, we're at 123. Beautiful. He was actually ahead of Garrett Wilson before. Traylon Burke's still off the board. Yeah, he's off the board. So we'll go with Kenny Golladay. I think that's a really, really strong pick for us there. It looks like no tight ends go. Now it's what we need to definitely consider. I see a lot of running backs went. Yeah, Ronald Jones, McKissick, James Robinson, Alexander Madison, Darrell Henderson. That's why we wanted to kind of lock up those running backs a little bit earlier with Melvin Gordon, because like these guys aren't going that much later than Gordon. Gordon's a way better pick than they are. But now it's certainly possible that tight ends don't come off the board, especially there's only 3 teams left that don't have one, but there's so many picks that we risk if like Pat, Cole, Gesicki, Fant, Henry are all gone. Now we're risking that our double dip is really 2 options we don't love. So I'm thinking we just take our top here, which I think is actually Cole. I feel like a lot of people would have Pat. What's the difference here? Cole Kmet 150.5 in the projection. Cole Kmet 145.5. So only a few spots. ADP wise, Pat Freiermuth is 1 spot ahead of Cole Kmet. If we're looking at underdog rankings, I only have them as 5 total draft spots difference. So very, very close in the rankings. I like Cole, especially if we're looking at the quarterback change for Pittsburgh. We don't really know what to expect from with the garbage that they're going to have this season. I mean, Trubisky's fine, but he's not that good of a quarterback. Passing volume is going to be down. They love him there. He's a great talent. He's probably going to be pretty good, but I don't know. Cole's a great talent as well. Been very unlucky with the touchdowns. That'll probably change, and they don't have that many receiving threats. So you got to think he's going to be taking a step forward this season. We'll grab Cole Kmet. Not a lot go, but Pat does go. There's a possibility if we didn't take Cole that he would have gone as well. Alberto comes off the board, it looks like. Defense. Buffalo Bills come off the board. All right. I won't go every pick, but yeah, it was Pat goes and Alberto goes. No quarterbacks. Only wide receivers were Jahan Dotson, Tolbert, Van, and Pickens, although we would have loved Jahan Dotson at that next pick. A billion running backs. I'm not even going to list them all, but what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 running backs come off the board. Good grief. It's thin. It's thin at the position. Okay. We've got 4 bench spots left. We've got defense left, and then we'll be done here. I want wide receivers. And I want wide receivers that come with upside. I would love... Let's pull up the wide receiver rankings. I feel like Tim Patrick will be our top option. Scroll a little bit down. So Tim Patrick, is Jameson Williams though? Jameson Williams, even bringing him down a little bit, he's our top pick. So Jameson Williams, I would like Tim Patrick, I would like Kendrick Bourne, and I would like KJ Osborne, and Paris Campbell, and Will Fuller. Those are the ones that I'd like to get here. Do we think there's a chance Williams would be there at the next pick? Do we need to play that ADP game? Tim Patrick way down here. It's not too different. Projection-wise, 164.9. I think the only problem with taking Jameson Williams ahead of Tim Patrick here is that we already have Godwin. And while that means our team is very back-heavy, which honestly is actually something to think about, we're trying to win a championship. And if I feel like my starting lineup is good enough to where if Williams wasn't starting, if Godwin wasn't starting the season, I still think we can compete really well in a 14-team league. If we get fully healthy Godwin to close the season, so now we have Chase, Lamb, and Godwin, and we have fully healthy Jameson Williams, who can be a really nice upside pick at that like second flex spot, we don't even need, these other wide receivers, Gordon, Dillon, Golladay. Like, we don't need them to work out that much. Like second half of the season where we're peaking, and we obviously want to peak late. So Williams is still a good pick. But I think I would prefer to grab Tim Patrick, then grab Williams, then grab Bourne. That would be my optimal end to this draft. Then actually we need to consider only having 6 bench spots. I want a ton of wide receivers because my goal for this team would be to only ever be starting 2 running backs. But I feel like I need a 5th running back. I don't think I can exit with... So maybe we only go with 1 tight end and Cole. We'll see how things kind of work out. I'm just basically wondering right now Should I instead go? Let's pull up the running back rankings as well. I'm wondering if I make a mistake here, if I don't grab like Rachaad White, a really nice like pass catching option. Where is he ranked? You know, because if I'm grabbing a fifth, I don't want my fifth to be like Trey Sermon, Damian Williams, Chris Carson. Like obviously, like I guess I could go Zamir White, but we don't know the pass catching upside there. It's just saying wide receivers are way better. Rachaad White's at 128. We're at 151. So White's still a really good pick here. I think it would be smart for me to grab White. And maybe we sacrifice one of these running backs and still grab the tight end. I think it would be smarter for me to grab White here. I think you need that running back. Grab Rachaad White. We'll grab Jameson Williams because he comes with more upside. I was hoping a lot of tight ends didn't come off the board. It looks like a tight end was... I don't think I should have gone with tight end with that pick, but it looks like a lot of tight ends come off. I think that was sharp. We grab one wide receiver here who should probably be Tim Patrick. And then... Although, I mean... Yeah, I think it'd be better to back up. I'm saying, like, technically, Brady's like 100 years old. There's always a chance he gets hurt, and, like, Kirk Cousins is a really, really good pick at this spot in the draft. So if I wanted to back up quarterback, Kirk Cousins is such a good option. But it might be smarter for me to back up Cole in case he doesn't work out. But who would I even do it with? I mean, Higbee, I guess. Logan Thomas if I want to wait a while. Evan Ingram if I want to take a chance. I would almost rather just grab Kirk. What's the bye week on Kirk? 7, so we're not... I would almost rather grab Kirk Cousins here. I want to pull up the quarterback rankings because we know they're going to throw the ball a ton. Very, very, very good offense. He's always undervalued. He's quarterback 15 by ADP, but he's my quarterback 12, right behind Trey Lance. I'll go a good chunk still in the projection behind him at 129 or 179. That's a good backup quarterback. In a 14-team league, you know, if some of the dudes take backups in the next few rounds and your top options on free agency are like Tannehill and Zach Wilson, it's not great. You can play the matchups a little bit. Yeah. I think I would rather grab the backup in Kirk, which backup quarterbacks are still optimal to do. It looks like Tim Patrick is still going to be on the board, so we'll grab Tim Patrick. I would love Kendrick Bourne. I think Kendrick Bourne I need to talk about a little bit more on the channel. I think he's being pretty undervalued this season. He's going to have a really, really nice role on their offense. Going to have a good season. Had a good year last year. I think people are undervaluing him a lot. Ernest Johnson wouldn't be a bad option if we were left with him late, but look at these running backs. I mean, it's gross this late in the draft. We can pull up real quickly the tight end rankings. It's like a whole new page, but we'll have that load on the side. It is already loaded. Rams, number 1. Beautiful. I think this draft worked out well. There were definitely parts that didn't go like perfectly for us, but I think overall we built a very good team with, again, a lot of upside late. Like I didn't even think about having like that Godwin and Jameson Williams. Maybe we start slow. Again, if he can't play and we're forced to start, it'd be risky starting Melvin Gordon not knowing the role, so we might be forced to start probably Kenny Golladay in week 1. So maybe our like week 1 starting lineup wouldn't be fantastic. But, I mean, starting lineup. Tom Brady, David Montgomery, Etienne, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Cole Kmet. Again, Chris Godwin's there for now. A.J. Dillon, Rams defense. And then the bench. I really like the bench. In a 14-team league. Melvin Gordon, Kenny Golladay, Rachaad White, Jameson Williams, Kirk Cousins, and then Tim Patrick. A lot of upside late in the season once Godwin and Jameson Williams come back. Really, really strong running back core for avoiding it for the first 2 rounds and being in a 14-team league. So I think this one worked out really, really nicely. Let me know what your thoughts are in the team in the comment section below. Again, I want to work on the 2 flex rankings to see how they're different. They will be different just to like give you guys, you know, maximum value. But I have other things to do as well. Obviously, a bunch of videos. We're actually probably moving to 7 videos a week starting this week. There's going to be a new Sunday video every week now. So a lot of video content, but we'll try and get those rankings up as soon as possible. Also, the Superflex content's going to go up, like a draft strategy article there. Another Underdog article is going to go up. A lot of things going up on the site. Make sure you're subscribed to that. That, my friends, is the end of this one. Hope you all enjoy. If you did, how about hitting the like button and how about subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Thanks for watching.